shout out to Lester Green, who was my great co-star in that film. And and from that point on, Antoine and I, decided to keep in contact. And next thing you know, I'm sitting in a diner, I think in Midtown or in Queens or somewhere, and then we're strategizing about what became Voice of Reason. So yeah, definitely, yeah, everything you just said, that's exactly how it happened. Networking, getting yourself out there, not being afraid to meet new people or try new things. It all culminated in what you're seeing today.
That was prior to COVID. So what are some recommendations in terms of like networking during a pandemic where everything is online? What do you recommend?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I think there was some sort of delay in the question. I don't know, Antoine, you want to take that one?
So right now with COVID, it's been a great experience for me. Besides, the death of the people, because now the people I'm talking to that probably would get back to me for a long time, they pick up the phones now because everybody's home. So if you have a project, it's best to pitch people now because they're home and they're not doing nothing, so they can't say they're busy. So right now, if you have a script, you have a project you want to shop, contact the lawyer, contact the agents, and start pitching. Because during this COVID, like I'm working on a new feature, and all the names that I want to get in there, they pick up the phone for me. So right now, just basically just putting your package together, reaching out to the people because they're home now and they're looking for content.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. So then, as you all continued your relationship to begin to put the project together, how did you all come with your vision boarding, your script, with your funding that was required for the film?
So when I talk to actors, I tell a lot of actors, I'm telling Tamike, stop waiting for a casting director, produce your own project. A lot of times we wait for other people to validate us, and the only person you validate is the person in the mirror. So I told Tamike, I come up with an idea, come up with a script, but it's a partnership. So you go out there, go get the funding, and I put everything else together. So he went out there, got the funding for it. We came together and we just knocked it out because, two heads are better than one. And once we knocked it out, this is his first movie that he produced and won a Best Actor award for. Because I told him I told him I won an award for it. I told him way before because I see how he was acting and I seen how great when people see the film. So it's all about having, when you build a team together, if you know you're bringing this to the table, just make sure everybody brings something to the table. Because a lot of times teams don't work because one person brings everything to the table and everybody's eating off the crumbs. Mm-hmm. So when you do a team, make sure everybody bringing something together, and that's how it came together.
Nice.
Yeah. And one thing I instantly recognized in Antoine is that he's a highly motivated person, just like I am. Like I'm a highly motivated person. When I want to do something, no matter what it is, 99.8% of the time it gets done. So yeah, when you put your team together, you got to make sure you have like-minded individuals, just as Antoine just said, most definitely.
What about the money? How did you all either raise the money or attract the money, set up a budget, in order to get that dollar amount?
Okay, so in this particular case, I actually did a bunch of networking, because Antoine did, bring the idea to me to do maybe a GoFundMe or something like that. And I was like, nah, chill. I'm going to do it. So I basically did a bunch of networking, and I ended up meeting a man by the name of Thomas Timpton at a birthday party of a mutual friend. And I approached him and I said, hey, I have this idea for the short. And I just ran it by him. I did my whole 2-minute elevator pitch, and he liked what he said and what I said. And, we exchanged information. And, he said he was interested in possibly investing in the film. And that's when I called Antoine up and I said, hey, I have a person who's interested. And then from that point on, we all met, maybe a couple of weeks later, and Antoine, you know, pretty practically closed it. But I'll let him tell you from his point of view.
Yeah, so basically, what happened in this case, sometimes you have the person that could attract the money, attract the situation, and then from there, you want to get someone that could close the deal. So sometimes it's people that can do both, and other times you want to bounce it off. So basically, he brought me the individual, and I closed the deal with my pitching and investing and everything because I had a track record with the films,
Fact.
doing everything, and that's how it came about. So that's all about teamwork. That's why it's all about pointing at the right teammate, because sometimes you can have when you pick your team, it could be a great ally or your worst decision. So this basically was a teammate problem. And once we got the funding, I put some money together and then we just knocked it out. It was just a 1-2 punch.
So then you made the decision, Tamike, to do just the networking to get the money as opposed to the crowdfunding. So what were some of the reasons that you shunned away from crowdfunding?
Oh man, I don't know. I guess I'm just old school that way. I don't have an aversion to it per se, but I'm just old school, and like I go hunting. You know what I'm saying? We hunt for our food. You know what I mean? Not that there's anything wrong with you know, crowdfunding, but that just wasn't my way at the time. Now, would I go that route now? More than likely, yeah. More than likely, yeah. I mean, because you want to involve people, you want people to feel like they're a part of your story or your history. You know what I mean? For great things to happen. So I think there is a place for it. But at that particular point in time, a few years ago, I just felt like I had a chip on my shoulder, and I just wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? To just get to do it. You know what I'm saying? And not really ask for the help from the public, but go privately and meet with people. But yeah, I mean, but again, I don't have an aversion to doing that today. But back then, yeah. I just wanted to do it that way. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Twan. Go ahead. Now you itching.
Well, no. I was just saying that I'm the kind of same way. I'd rather be in your face because
Right.
you got to know your weaks and strengths. So some people have the community, raise every money, but some people like me, I might want to meet with the person and go from there. So it's the same thing. It's just different. You have one that's online, one is offline. It's the same exact thing, just a different method.
Yeah.
So also in crowdfunding, you have to do a lot of marketing for your project. So you all both have stellar backgrounds in getting the word out to a lot of people. What are some tips that you can offer the audience in terms of marketing your film or your project?
You want to treat your film. So a lot of people treat their films like a film. You got to treat your film like a brand. So if you have a shoe collection, you have a clothing line, you have a shirt, you treat the film the same way as a business. So if it's a feature film, you want to get a bank account and a feature film name. So when you get investors, it's go do the LLCC. A lot of people don't like, I give you an example, my feature film Lola is a female boxing film. Having a female boxing film that's never been done before, or having a movie like Voice of Reason. Voice of Reason plays on faith-based. So you now have a market for faith-based, and the faith-based Christian communities is wide. So when you come up with a film, try to come up with a film that have a marketing glitch. If it's a romantic comedy, if it's a horror film, market like that. And then once you found the subject of it, go out to those communities. So Voice of Reason, Tamika don't know this, but the founder of the Atlanta Film Festival that he won the award at, he's heavy in the church. So when you have a film too, yeah, to make you know that the owner of the Atlanta Film Festival,
yeah,
he's really big in the church.
Oh, okay.
So those little things that people don't understand, like if you have a package or a film, find out their interests. So when you're marketing, yeah, you find the interest. It's just easier. A lot of times, it's kind of like if I'm a country artist, I'm not gonna go to a hip hop label. So a lot of times people do projects and just throw it out there, but you want to target your market. So if it's a love story, won't you promote it around Valentine's? There's so many things, but that's the main thing market. Finding something with a hook that you could get a community behind it and go with it. So that's the best marketing. Find something with a hook that you could find a community and go to it. That's why Harvard's so big. Harvard's a humongous community that you don't need no big names in your movies. Same thing if you do like Voice of Reason, a faith-based film, more faith-based and crap for it. You could do a soundtrack. Those things that we don't even think about when doing films. So like my feature film, I have an app, I have merch, and I have a soundtrack. So those are 3 things that you could do to help with the film, because the reality is, on an independent level, a lot of times you're not going to make a lot of money off it. So since you know you're not going to make a lot of money off it, use other things that could subsidize the funding. So if you have a book, you could do a book soundtrack. You could do a short film to the book. So it's basically like accessories. It's like you get the outfit, you get the accessories, a part of it to bring it together.
Samike?
Yeah, I was going to piggyback off of what Antoine just said. As a matter of fact, if you go by Antoine Allen Films, his IG, he has merch posted everywhere. And it's quite dope to see. But I mean, he just said it. I mean, you create other entities around the main attraction, which would be the film. You do merch. You might do a contest for a free screening. There are lots of different ways that you could to market the film. He just mentioned soundtrack. It's just many ways that you can I don't want to use the word finesse, but definitely parlay it into other money making opportunities. But yeah, he basically named everything on the list.
Nice, nice. So as we wrap up our session, what are some like lasting tips, whether for the career, whether technical, that you would offer to the next generation of filmmakers or people who are just getting started in the space?
For me, it's just don't give up. You're gonna hear the word no. That's it. You're gonna hear the word no, and you're gonna hear it a lot. Especially me being primarily an actor who auditions almost on a daily basis. As a matter of fact, I had to put together a self-tape yesterday with 8 pages of dialogue for a television show that's shooting down south. But yeah, you don't say no. I mean, you don't take no for an answer. Keep pushing, because there will be people that don't believe in you. That's just a fact. You got to believe in yourself, and you got to put other people around you that believe in you and want to see you succeed. And I found that in Mr. Allen, and we've been rocking and rolling ever since. And we got some things to store definitely for the future. But yeah, you just from my vantage point, you just don't stop. You keep pushing.
Nice. Any parting advice, Antoine?
For me, and this is what I've been teaching, I'm like, yeah, it was a delay. Yeah, for me, I'm teaching everybody, especially going forward, if you're an actor, stop giving 95% to a casting room. Because what you're doing is you're delaying your greatness. If you're a writer, stop giving 95% to the contests in the studios. Start producing your own product. You could no longer be a one-trick pony. After COVID is over, COVID taught us that we got to stop living our life like a rehearsal. Do more for yourself, because at the end of the day, talent's not enough. The hustle's so separate. You're always gonna have people better than you, but they would never out hustle you. So do more for yourself. Stop waiting on people. And the more you do this, the more you're gonna have control of your future and your destiny.